What's up, guys? Archman here in the Nice Guy shop, and I've been busting my balls here in this shop the last couple weeks, and I'm going to take a little bit of a easy Monday morning and talk about one of my newest bags, and that is the Triple Aught Design Axiom 24. And I researched the shit out of everything, and this bag is not disappointing. It's so good. I just had to talk about it. So you guys that have been following my channel for a while know that it's not uncommon for me to talk about a bag or something a piece of gear that I really like. And so yeah, I do really like this thing. I'll do a little bit of comparison. I'm a total bag sleut for sure. So I'm going to do a little bit of comparison and just kind of just demonstrate that, like, I'm no stranger to textiles in general, but and I'm a purpose-built guy too. Like, so Mystery Ranch tote, really love that. My camera bag is a little Timbuktu. I'm a way back Timbuktu fan. Way back in the 90s when they started out, I got on the Timbuktu train early, and I've just always been a fan. But I'm also a fan of Ergonomics, which means backpacks, rule really. Big black hole, Patagonia bag there, a Deuter, probably my favorite backpacking backpack that I've ever owned. Really love it. Like another Timbuktu. This is just kind of one I got cheap on sale for traveling in Thailand. My Mystery Ranch Sweet Pea, which I've had this for a long time, probably since 2010, 2011, something like that. Really, really great bag. And then a custom handmade Timbuktu, which I actually have done a YouTube review on. That's kind of a media bag for me at this point. It's a big old bulky laptop bag from the days when backpacks or laptops were a lot more large and bulky. But today, obviously, I'm really, for the most part, only going to talk about the Triple Aught Design Axiom 24. And just, I mean, for starters, there's a $400-ish bag. Once you get it shipped and everything, it's about right on $400. So it better be good, and it is. So I guess without further ado, we'll go down a little bit deeper here, not do the wide angle, and we'll look at this bag a little bit closer. Okay, so a little bit of a closer look at the Axiom 24 here. So this is a like EDCer's bag. I would call this 100% an urban EDCer's bag. This is the only disappointment for me, just right off the bat, is the I guess the ergonomics is what you would say, what I would call it, like the way that it feels, the way that it fits. But it's not like it's terrible or anything like that. But this middle strip is just kind of like, that's a little odd. But like a lot of you guys, it's common for me to pack a damn bag full of every inch of gear that I could possibly put in there. So I tend to use a bag to its extent. So it could be just because I'm going to base a lot of this off of when I went to Blade Show, and I had, a laptop and a tablet. It literally had like anywhere from 40 to I think the minimum I ever had in here was 20 nice bars and safety whistles and all the stuff. Stickers, t-shirts. So I had it totally packed full. Man, I would say too, 24 is like the idea. Like I say a lot of times in my videos, I'm 6'4", so I'm a big guy. But at the same time, I like to be high speed and low drag. So I like my shit tight and svelte. And so, and this is that. Like I honestly was like, oh, maybe I should get a little smaller. But my Deuter here, I think it's also 24. Yeah, it's 24 also. So I was like, it's not big, So one thing that I would, caution folks is, I think there's an 18 version of this and a 24. I would not even consider the 18. Like this is plenty, you know, high speed and low drag. Take a sip of coffee here. But just kind of starting with the outside of the bag. So I'm going to base a lot of that off of the Blade Show, because I wore this thing. I traveled for 4 days, and was it only 4 days? Might have been 5. And I wore this damn thing for 10 hours or more a day, all those days, because I'm walking around Blade Show, talking to all the other makers, and I'm walking around the pit till 3 a.m., you know, partying my tits off and, you know, slinging my shit, you know. So like I literally wore this damn thing, I'd say a minimum of 10 hours for 3 of those days. And then I also had a 14-hour layover. So it's not, I'm no stranger to this bag. Like I've worn the shit out of this bag. I've used the shit out of this bag. Right now it's currently packed because my wife and I traveled for Father's Day. Today is the day after Father's Day 2021. So it has all my EDC shit in it that I brought to Father's Day / 2-year-old's birthday party yesterday. And so yeah, it's kind of packed out right now, exactly how I would use it. I wanted to do one right after Blade because it was actually, you know, really stuffed full and really well organized. But yeah, sorry to be so long-winded. The front here, just to talk about, I mean, I don't know, I don't really need to talk about aesthetics. You can make up your own mind what aesthetically. One thing I will say too, the color, I've not seen a good representation of this color. I knew I didn't really want black, and I'm not a camouflage guy, which leaves me with only this color. But I was just like, it does not, it's totally different looking. It's much darker looking than the pictures on the Triple Aught Design website. Much darker looking. Like where I don't like that color at all. Like I look at the color on the Triple Aught Design website, but I'm a function guy. I'm much more of a function guy than an aesthetic guy. So I was like, it looks like it perfectly functional. So, but anyway, when I got it in hand, I immediately was like, I love this color. Like, and my wife said she loves it too. So like that color, they got to work on that, man. Like that color looks terrible, but in person, it's great. It like, honestly, I would pick this off the rack in a heartbeat. It's like a really good, deep, nice looking olive drab. So yeah, I should say that. I personally don't love this. I use chest straps 10 out of 10 times. I always use them on like my hiking bags. I always use them. And I'll always also use a bladder with the tube hanging on the right side. I don't feel any reason to have that on an EDC bag, so an urban bag, but I do in case I was to trek more. I didn't use it at all any of those days that I was talking about, going to and from Blade Show and at Blade Show. But I'm keeping him in the water bottle pocket over here. Since I mentioned the water bottle pocket, let's talk about that real quick. So I have, what is this, 26? What is this? Yeah, 26 ounce Yeti in there. It's like, I mean, it even has a little bit of room. I see people like, oh, it barely fits in there and this and that. So I don't like exterior water bottle pockets. So you can see like here on my Deuter, it has this one here, and I don't like that personally. I mean, it works. And this bag right here it's probably good 4 years old, and I use these shit out of this bag. But I mean, it's not great. A lot of times, and my wife has the ladies version of this exact same bag. I think it's a 22, and this water bottle pouch is almost unusable, so we always have to carabiner it on. But anyway, I don't like that shit hanging off the side. So immediately when I saw this kind of really just like svelte water bottle pouch, I was like, dude, that is awesome. But it works great. Like, I had this bag stuffed to the gills, like I said, and taking this in and out, not a big deal at all. And again, for me, just for it to be like not sticking off the side is worth any trade-off you'll see anybody else mention on this bag. And that's just kind of how I feel about that. I'm not one to carry 2 water bottles typically, so on the other side I have, this is like a little media pouch, and the very bottom is those chest straps I was telling you about. So what I was carrying in here was two pouches basically similar to this. This is a D-made pouch. Again, like, you know, I am a bag whore. So you're gonna see, you know, everything that I have is gonna be, for the most part, as long as I can justify it, U.S. made and just to the highest quality. That's a D-made. This is like their micro dop, and it's like a media bag. It has some cables in it. But this right here is strictly multimedia, so audio, video, strictly. Even though I don't like do a lot of that. Another thing you'll see on all the other reviews is this thing has double with like a 1/4-inch pad in between. Great pad, like dense, nice padding on this bag. Also super lightweight. Yeah, I just love this bag, to be honest. I love the dual. My laptop's over here, so I didn't put it in here. I didn't stage this at all. So I really love it. It like, there's a review that kind of mentions that it does make it bulge out. I wouldn't say it makes it bulge out, but it just makes it tighter. It makes this, like, when you really pack this thing full and put like your double, a laptop and a tablet in there, it really makes this center foam piece accentuated. But I've only had this bag for like a little less than a month, I think, maybe exactly a month. So I don't have the best sense of it just yet. I carry I'm real specific with how I even carry, like what side of my laptop I carry on which side. So in this case, I would be thinking, oh, you know, if I put something in the inside, I basically want glass to glass. So I want my tablet's glass side up against the screen side of the laptop, sandwiched in between. So it'd be the bottom side of the laptop facing my back, glass to glass, even though they don't touch each other. Just try to protect that shit as much as possible. People have mentioned that the shit goes all the way to the bottom. I would not mention that personally, because it doesn't go as far as like a Timbuktu, where it literally is touching the bottom. It kind of is, but it's not even mentionable, in my opinion. Plus, I'm not one to go throwing my shit around. That's mostly it on the outside of the bag. So the sunglasses thing here on the top, it's kind of funny. I've shown this to people, and I'm just like, I fucking love it. I keep a couple little Oakley bags in here. I'm a sunglass whore, so I always have nice sunglasses and multiple pairs of nice sunglasses, just because that's just how I roll. You know, it's part of how I budget my shit. Is I'm like, gotta have nice sunglasses. So I love that there's a dedicated. Personally, love it that there's a dedicated sunglass bag here. Somebody was like, oh, it would be better if it had some felt lining shit in there. I disagree, because, you know, if I had that, it would just get sand and shit in it, and it would end up fucking up my sunglasses. So for me to just be able to throw a couple Oakley bags in there is even better, because I can wash those. So for me, no dings on that at all. It's a great idea. Every bag, you know, for the most part, for me at least, I'm more used to the outdoorsy bag. I was a guide for 13 years of my life, and I was an outdoorsman for my whole. I am an outdoorsman, so most of my bags are going to lean that direction. And they have like a big, relatively large pocket in the lid. And what this always does is, it doesn't hurt really function at all, but what it always does is, when you have the thing loaded down, this is just kind of ugly looking on the top. Just is what it is. Nobody cares, but it's something that those of us that are the bag salutes, like we do care how this thing sits and how it like droops and hangs over time, right? We're concerned with this. This is our concern, dude. So that's really it, all things considered, for the outside of the bag. There's this kind of dump chute, and people, I guess they claim that they made this for a quick access to your raincoat. I personally have not had good luck with like thin Gore-Tex rain jackets. I fuck them up, man. Like, I don't know what it is, but that thin ass shell material, You know, you buy a $400 Arc'teryx and it just does not last for me. So I like a soft shell DWR Raincoat. So that's not going to fit for my size, a large, extra large. It's not, doesn't fit in here. Like a shell, sure, is going to fit in here. But again, I have issues with their durability. I find that they crease, and once you get that good crease in there, it just goes to shit fast. So that's my experience. I use it for other things, and I'll kind of talk about what that is. I love the organization of this bag, and there are trade-offs. I know there are some bags, I can't remember right off the top of my head, that use like a panel system, and so we'll just kind of get into it. Here you have, they kind of call this, I think they call this like your Tsa Dump Pouch, and that's like literally the only thing I personally would ever use this for. All this shit that's in this front pouch is here, and it stops here. So you can see it's trying to go down with gravity, and it's creating kind of a fold right in here, and I assume that's just going to get worse. So I'm not going to try to make that even worse by loading this shit down with anything. I'm not going to put anything in there. I mean, I might put like a bandana in there or something like that, but it might get all wadded in there and weird. And I like, personally, if I'm going to carry a bandana or a handkerchief, oh, I got a safety whistle in there. I was showing some people the safety whistle at that party. But anyway, long story short, I'm not using that shit because it's going to pull the bag down even more. I pretty much always try to keep a pair of like nice thin work gloves on me. Whatever it is, my newest pair, I usually have rotate about 5 pairs because I'm just picky. Once it gets a little hole in it, it's done for me. These are probably the best gloves I've ever found. I don't think they're making them anymore, but these are Carhartt, the ANSI level 4 cut resistant gloves. They fit great. They work great. They're a little on the spendy side. I think they're like 25 bucks. Another great glove is mountain biking gloves that you can get really nice thin mountain biking gloves, but I love these. Also, you can get sorry, this is not a glove review, but let's see if I can find a pair here. Move some shit. These you can buy at Home Depot. These are cut level, maybe one or two. These are cut level 1, so thinner, much more comfortable too. But these Milwaukee gloves are the shit also, durable. And they just make it so you can get more done with less fatigue and less, blistering and stuff. This is going to be how I load this thing out. Almost always. There's no. Oh, you know what? Normally I would have this in my pocket. I didn't have this in my pocket because I was wearing these like little Chubbs shorts yesterday. So got some nice guy stickers in here, of course. I always carry extra batteries for whatever light that I'm carrying. So in that case, it's these 14500s? Yep, 14500s, which go with the Oklima DC0. Bunch of nice guy stickers. I've been just pretty much an exclusively small Sabinza carrier, so I have a large Nkosi in here right now. Like I said, I'm pretty much always gonna have a secondary knife of some kind, and it's almost always gonna be a large Chris Reeve knife. I'm always gonna have those batteries. Like literally, it doesn't matter what bag I'm carrying; that's going in that bag. I have my little pair of Nipex. I don't have a Swiss Army, or I don't have any other pliers multi-tool in here actually. I've got my cool Hog Doggins Nuck bottle opener thing with a 0 feed bead and a JRW bead, so that's pretty freaking sweet little piece of eye candy. It's a photo prop, really is all it is. A little bit of gum, and this would be just shit that I always have. 2 different Sharpies, so got a ink saw and then a real fine Sharpie. I got some little zip ties. Zip ties are just super handy. These are very small, fine zip ties, and I mean they just work for whatever you might want to use them for. I pretty much always try to have a few zip ties in my EDC bag. They weigh nothing. They're ridiculously helpful. And this is how I do them. I bundle them just like that. Take one zip tie, zip around. Every time I take one out, I pull this a little bit tighter. And I've never had a problem with that. I currently have my Apple pencil in here, which rotates. I find that it wants to come off of my shit every time. It's not wanting to go back there for some reason? I don't know what's going on here. What is going on? Yeah, for some reason that other zip tie wasn't wanting to go behind there, which this literally is the first time I've ever had a problem with that, of course. And I'm just throwing my Pluma right. Actually, I guess I'll put it in my pocket. Pencils, Apple pencil, handkerchief, and so forth. Oh, little medical kit. This is just real small medical kit. It's got some eye drops in it. It's got some ibuprofen. It's got some Benadryl, bandages, big bandages, small bandages, a little Neosporin. So I try to keep a little ouch kit on me and a lighter. I try to keep a little ouch kit on me at all times. I have the lighter in there just because I try to stash lighters in different. I think it's the only one I have in here right now. Oh, this is a little Topo Designs bag. I love these little Topo Designs bag. I have a million of them. I have 3 or 4 in this size. They're great for everything. I have 3 or 4 in this size. These are great for everything. This one I was using for masks. I had a bunch of disposable masks in here. Right now I have a little cleaning cloth, microfiber cleaning cloth in there, just because I don't know why. But so that doesn't weigh anything. It might as well just be in there. This is great. I got a key bar magnet right here, which I'm not normally a fan of magnets. They fuck things up, in my opinion. Like, they're just always gunky and full of weird shit. But I really do like this one. This is something I take with me everywhere pretty much, and I have for years and years, and it essentially is just like a little urban survival, but just survival thing anyway. But in this bag I have a Ferro Rod. This is a really nice Ferro Rod, actually. An emergency whistle, an emergency little Benchmade knife sharpener, a little light that runs on this coin cells. It's a Innova light. I have some water purification tablets and a small length of cord. Believe it or not, this little piece of cord is probably the thing that I actually end up using the most on there. Just for holding down things, tying things up, securing my dog to something, a little leash, tying their leash off real quick or whatever. That's about it. So as an EDCer, like a lot of you guys watching this bag, this is like your bread and butter here. So I've not seen a great application of this, but this would be I love it, and it's the best version of it I've ever had. But for a lot of us that that like we're EDCers or whatever, I end up packing this thing full of a lot of weight, right? So most of my shit is here, and the rest of it, comes and goes and changes. So because I have all this shit right on this front panel, it's going to cause a little bit of sag here. I don't love that, but again, you either get access, or you could make this either not here and up against the laptops back in the back, or a panel that you can move around depending on your personal preference. For me, my personal preference would be 100% to not have this in the front. I could throw something much lighter weight in there that doesn't actually, this doesn't need to go back in there. Pull it down. So let's move into, did I get everything there? I feel like I left part of that out. I love how this whole thing opens up like this. I have my raincoat here. This is, it's bulkier than like your shell raincoat. This is a Sierra Designs DWR. This is a 10-year-old jacket, one of my favorite jackets I've ever had. I do use waterproofing rinse on it, so that might be why it's still so good. But this is a freaking awesome raincoat, and it's one of my favorite coats I've ever had. And then I got a little Patagonia, like a medium weight Capeline. I always keep one of these on me just in case. just to do it. I don't think I'll ever use this Molly shit here. There's some loops up here that I could see myself using. There's some loops down here I could maybe see myself using. But yeah, this is what it is. It's a perfect, smooth, big pocket on the inside of the main compartment. I love the way it opens. I love the way everything about it. It has it inside here in the front. Behind that panel that's on the front is kind of the top side of that dump pouch, and you can see the fabric is this sailcloth material everywhere. I have this in here because this is chargers, cables, etc. So it's a little weighty, and this pouch goes all the way to the bottom of the bag. So this kind of will help. Normally I would put this with the rest of my other shit. Oh, you know what? I got another safety whistle in there. Actually, looks like I got 2 safety whistles in there. So normally it would be with the other shit, but because it's heavier, it will kind of help alleviate some of that sag. So I've got this in there. This is another, it's the same, I forget the name of this cloth, but durable and lightweight is what the name of the game is for me. So cables, chargers, extra set of AirPods, and my Carruthers fixed blade, which is riding in there currently. But it's good because it can sit all the way at the bottom. This pouch here, you can see it's kind of hidden, so you can reach in there and it goes all the way through here. But even though the zipper's up here, you can see it actually does go all the way down to there. And there's loops in here too. There's these little loops all over the place, which is sweet. Real quick while I'm thinking about it, I like just a regular paracord zip pull. I put these ZWs on there, or ZWs. I put these Zero Feuds on here just because they're sweet, and it's a Duff and a Twisted Tea, and they can just like cheers when you're walking around. So I like that. I think that's cool. The ones that come on this are really suck, man. I can't even believe I've even kept these on there. I don't like them. I just don't like the look of them. I don't like the bulk of them. I guess they, sure it's nice for grabbing it, but God, they're ugly, man. I immediately cut these. These were the same. Immediately cut those off, and I was just gonna put cord on them, but I was like, I have these Zero Feud beads. I'll put them on there, and I have this little titanium bead on the bottom. Yeah, they in my opinion, they should just do a regular paracord, not on there. This is a waste of material. It's not any more functional, and I personally think they're not attractive. So there is that. Let's go back into the main compartment here. So that's kind of weird, like the way that so I end up using this for the heavier things, like I was saying. I always forget. I don't forget that I know it's in my bag, but it's always not the first place that I look for anything, So that's kind of a bummer. I would love it if, personally, like all the weight of all this, everything that's in this front panel here, for my personal uses, would be better if there was this exact same panel and all these pouches and all that shit layered back in here. Would be like, it's a 10 now. I can see why they wouldn't have necessarily have done it because of the way that this is like kind of multi-use. So you can see, like, if you take your water bottle pouch out of there, now suddenly somebody might be as nitpicky as I am, but they're like, no, I want this panel to go wall to wall in here. I'm never going to use this shit. So I mean, I guess I could see why they do that. And there's trade-offs for everything. So, but for me, I mean, one of the things that I just don't like about most of my bags, we'll look at the Sweet Pea here, is the lack of organization. Like this Sweet Pea, this is a Mystery Ranch. This is like a flagship Mystery Ranch bag here. Again, this is I think 2010, 2011 bag. This thing's been all around the world. This thing has been on multi-day backpacking trips with me, and it still looks relatively I mean, I didn't wash it before this. I maybe have never washed it. So this thing has been around the block, man. And it's finally like soft and nice. I'm not sure about the current Mystery Ranch stuff, but my main nitpick with this thing is it actually is what attracted me to the bag in the first place, and that is it is burly, man. It is bulky and burly. Like, I mean, it's, you know, it is thick fabric. It is durable, but at the same time, I mean, you cannot even imagine a heavier bag. It's got carabiners and shit on it right now, but you really can't even imagine a heavier bag. It is heavy. This is a burly bag, man. I mean, to its detriment, for sure. I mean, it's the complete opposite of what you would see in like a Osprey bag. I have like a 40-liter Osprey bag. This is a 33 or something like that, and it is way lighter than this. But again, I think Osprey makes their shit too light. That's why I would go with a Deuter personally. It's like, it's a good in between. More durable than any Osprey for sure, but not crazy heavy either. But this is a great bag, and for anybody looking at bags, if you if you really dive into it and you're really into it, Mystery Ranch is going to be something that you're looking at 100%. I personally, I don't know. So they've got like their Urban Explorer or whatever it is. They're those bags, you know, those are going to be really nice bags, I'm sure. But for me, as long as I can justify it, as long as there's like, yes, there's something that makes that better, I will buy a US made bag for double the price like I did. But there are US made Mystery Ranch bags. Most of them are going to be like this, a little bit more tactical. This bag, I believe, actually is specifically made for snow sports. It has your skis can slide into here, and a snowboard can slide in the rigging on the back. This is for like a helmet or shoes, boots, whatever. But for me, I bought this bag to be just a bag. Definitely not a day bag. Like, I've never ever used this thing for like a day hike or anything like that. It just would not work for that. It's way too big, way too burly. No reason to do it. But yeah, so I honestly can't think of a reason why I would buy this bag again, unless it was like specifically like I'm gonna go backpacking. I wouldn't use this for like mountaineering or anything like that. This would be like a traveling, like I'm gonna go backpack, you know, Asia or something like that. This would be just perfect for that. But yeah, all things considered, I mean, with this Triple Aught Design's Axiom 24, they nailed it. You know, honestly, I think people have kind of poo-pooed some of the suspension strap kind of shit on these. I personally don't see any faults in them. I always, even when I was like, you know, 14 and like, you know, picking out my JanSport in 1992, like I was always like, how's it attached? Like, is this going to be secure? And so I've always been kind of, you know, paying attention to that. I've got some Toomey bags. I have a Toomey man clutch, which I used to use when I had a corporate job, which I stopped doing in 2003 or 2002 maybe. And you know, I notice these things. I don't have any problem with any of it. It's all good. I would recommend this bag 100%, 100%. It's an expensive bag. It's a leap of faith. It's $400. But if you really get into it, any kind of bags at all, travel bags, luggage, you know, you'll see pretty quickly that $400, it's, you know, it's nothing to throw around, but at the same time, it's not a huge asking price for like a high quality item. You know, it just isn't. So for me, you know, this basically meant I'm not buying a knife for a couple months, you know, so, and that's just all there is to it. And that's easy peasy, because this right here it makes my day easier. It makes my day better. And I get to look real fucking sexy while I'm doing it too. No, I'm just kidding. But actually, you know, I recognize people with this bag now. Somebody recognized me at Blade Show with this bag, and we ended up talking for 45 minutes about it. His girlfriend bought a nice bar, actually. But anyway, Palabra tu madre, guys. Questions, comments, concerns, go ahead and fire those away, and enjoy the rest of your day.